Welcome to another Saturday of joy and bliss. All right, it's your boy, your power director, Professor Malik, and I'm joined by the beautiful Walanda, who is in the building today. She does exist. She does the comments for her brother on a regular basis, but she just wanted to say hi, do a little cameo. She's gonna jump out and do these comments for her brother. So it's all gravy. It's all good in the hood. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the business of what we do here. Of course, I am the power director, Professor Malik, and I'm going to be leading you all through my curriculum for the weekend. It's Saturday, another beautiful day for live streams. And today, we're going to be chatting up a little bit about the tools that you have to use for Power Director to make things more efficient. All right. So let's go ahead and see who has joined us today. All right, first and foremost, we got my man Peter J. Milner. He says, "Good afternoon, Malik et al. Here we are again for another fun and informative live stream brought to us by our favorite tool behind the Power Director keyboard." Yes, I am a tool. Maybe he's not talking about me. Maybe he's talking about the software. I don't know, but I have been called a tool. Okay, who else we got in the building right now? We got Steve. What's up, Steve? Another one of my moderators. He says, "Greetings, Malik. Sorry I missed the stream last week. No big deal, my brother. We missed you. It's always good having Limitless Wave in the building, a limitless wave of joy and understanding and expertise. Appreciate you and everything you do on Facebook, on YouTube. You know the deal. You know what you do, man. Appreciate you. All right. We also got Sharoni Productions, or Oded Sharoni. He says, "Good morning, beautiful people. Los Angeles is in the house. LA's in the building. Okay. Bringing the fire, the heat, the love, the joy, and everything that comes from LA. Beautiful place. I've never been there, like I said before, but I'm going. I'm going. Oded, I'll be there." We got my man, William Palaniuk, in the house. What's going on, William? Always great to have you. Big time supporter of the channel right here, my man, William Palaniuk. Appreciate you. He says, "Good morning, Malik." Morning to you. All right. It's all good. We also got Brian Royston. He says, "Hello. What's up, Brian? What's good with you, man? Looking all buff in your profile picture, smiling and buff smiles. He's bringing a buff smile to the building. He has a question. We're going to say that for later. I'm going to say that for later, brother. Come on. Desironi says, "Los Angeles is waiting for you, Malik." Hey, I can't wait to get out there, man. So, Brian, we'll get to your question later. Questions are for later. Okay? Questions are for later. Walanda, make sure we take care of this. I'm gonna put a star over here by his question just so that we remember to come back to this dude later on. All right. So, without any further ado, I want to talk about what's going on today in our topic of the day. So, most of my PD peeps know that Power Director is a user-friendly interface. It's great, has a bunch of powerful features and all types of tools that you can use. But are you taking advantage of all the tools that you can use? Are you being as efficient as you can with your editing process and your workflow? Because there are tools that help you create your content in a very efficient way in Power Director. And sometimes we miss out on them. We just do things because we don't know those things are there, whatever the case may be. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explore some of the top Power Director tools in my humble opinion. This is my opinion. Once again, to me, they're the most, the tools and features that get you through work most efficiently. All right. Efficiency tools that you can use in Power Director. But I'm going to start off by sharing the results of some of the polls that I did last week. So if you're following me on Facebook and YouTube, then you should know that I have polls that I create every week that kind of tie into the live stream. And I ask a few questions and ask of you to share your thoughts and feelings on a lot of the stuff that's going on out there. So I'm going to go ahead and share some of these polls that were done. We'll start off here on Facebook. So on Facebook, I put a poll out that says, "What's your favorite Power Director tool?" I put 3 out there: MultiCam, Video Collage Designer, and Motion Tracker. Nobody on Facebook liked those tools. No one. Okay. Now, there were a few votes. It looks like there was only 5 votes, and they all picked other, but it doesn't look like they gave me any other feedback on what those other tools were. They just said other, which is all gravy. It's fine and dandy. Would have been nice to know what the other tool was, but I digress. And there was an option here. Tom Ballard decided to ask me to do some work for him. Like he wanted to hire me for something. I said, brother, I ain't into that. I ain't into the hiring and firing stuff. Can't fire me if you don't hire me. Okay. So then I did the same poll on YouTube. So on YouTube, I asked the same question. What's your favorite PowerDirector tool? And on this poll, we got 30% said it was the motion tracker. 28% said other. 24% said the video collage designer. And 17% said the MultiCam Designer. So there were 9 comments on here and all type of goodness out here, trying to alluding to what other tools people like to use. Some of them said, not sure if this counts. This was the True and Honest said, I'm not sure if this counts, but I use edit undo quite often. And so do we all, my friend. So do we all. Steve said a smart fit for audio. Oded Shironi said the audio syncing tool is my favorite and using it all the time to sync multiple cameras. Neil Forbes said he doesn't have a particular tool that is his favorite. He says there's a few that he uses. He doesn't use them all that much. Then we got some other comments on here. Not sure what the last 2 are, but he's glad that they were added the background remover tool, though. So obviously he uses the background remover tool. Bev Maddox said wind removal because I make cycling videos. Downside is that my GoPro can record in a series of 17-minute clips, so you got to do it over and over and over again, basically. Then we got all are missing on Mac. Yeah, unfortunately, we know the routine on that one. I wish they would go ahead and make those updates on there. Then we got Lori Eggleston 37 says, I can't wait to use them all. And then we got the last comment, video collage designer and motion tracker. So as you can see, there was a lot of different options on there, a lot of things that people are sharing to get their work done, make it happen using PowerDirector. So let's go ahead and go over my top 3. And you pretty well should have guessed by now what my top 3 are because they were in the poll. I'm just giving it to you. So let's talk about what those top ones are right now. So coming in at number 1, for me, MultiCam Designer. So the MultiCam Designer is a crazy dope tool. So when you're looking to create any type of high quality, multi-angle, multi-camera, multi-shot video, look no further, my friend. This is what you got to be using. So if you want to use it, it's pretty easy to get to. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So let me set this up for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. A lot of clicking going on over here, right? We got to get our clicks on. All right. So if you want to use the multi-tool designer or the MultiCam Designer, all you got to do is go to Tools. And then you want to go to MultiCam Designer. Now here you'll get a pop-up screen and it gives you some options here to do a lot of good stuff. So you can click on Import and you can import from Media Library. You can select the clips that you want to import. And then they're all brought in. And basically you get to choose how to sync them up by audio. You get to choose how to move things around. You are the master of everything that you're going to be doing in there. So great tool to use. Now, a few things that I do want to talk about with the MultiCam Designer is that it's easy to integrate 4 clips, right, into camera angles. So this is something that if you were shooting at an event and you want to go ahead and switch between the different clips and you're shooting the same thing on multiple cameras, this is a great tool to use. Also, you can switch between camera angles if you have different cameras set up in different ways. And like I said before, you can sync the clips by different clips, by a separate audio file, all types of different ways to sync things up and align them. Like Oded Shironi said in the poll, he likes to sync his audio. So you can use that tool here to sync up all of your clips. Now, if you're doing things like a concert, an interview, you're doing sports, and you've got multiple cameras set up, this is a tool for you because it makes things more efficient for you than you having to go through, look through all the clips separately, put them on different timeline tracks and cut and split and all of that. You just put them into the tool, pick when you want each angle to show up on the screen, sync it all up, and you're good to go. Easy to use, very efficient. It takes all of the heavy lifting out of creating videos that have multiple cameras or multiple angles. So I want you guys to share in the comments. So what type of videos do you use for the MultiCam Designer? Or if you're not using a MultiCam Designer, what type of videos could you start using it for? All right. So that's the first tool that I wanted to talk about. Let's see if there's any comments going on for you people out there about this topic. No, not really too much topics on multicam. So we must not have a lot of things going on with that. But I can jump into the next topic because of that. And the next topic that we got is the Video Collage Designer. So the Video Collage Designer is a tool that's going to help you create a video collage, and it simplifies the process so you don't have to like bring all things in, change the size of each video with the PIP designer or the advanced video editor. It lets you do things lickety split, like just like that. So let me show you how to get to that tool. If you want to know, it's pretty simple. It's just basically almost the same as the last tool. So Gaming for Life did have a comment on the MultiCam Designer. So I'm going to jump into that before I share the screen. He says he uses it for trimming gaming clips. So that's a cool way to use it. If like you have multiple clips on there for gaming, jumping back and forth and things like that, it's really easy to use that tool to trim things up. So let's talk about the Video Collage Designer. Let me share this with you real quick. So if you want to use the Video Collage Designer, pretty easy to use that as well. You go to Tools, you go to Video Collage Designer. Now here, when this opens up, you got a bunch of different options on here. So it makes it really easy for you to use it because there's a bunch of different, like, it has a lot of flexibility in it. You can pretty much customize your templates almost however you want to. So let's say, I'm going to go through a few of these things here. Let's say we wanted to pick a template to use. I like to click on the View button here. And then you pick a template out that you want to use, and you click on OK. And then what you can do is you can drag your clips where you want them. So now you have all the clips in here, but there's a lot of different things that you can do here. You can change the borders, you can change the color of the borders, the size of the borders, the fill type. You can create animations. Like, so if you want to animate like an intro or a closing animation, you can pick which one you want on here, an intro or a closing. And then you can even go and like look at the playback behavior. So if you want the frame animation, or you want the clip to start with the animation, or you want the clip to start after the animation is done, you can choose that. Like you can choose like before the clip playback, do you want everything to be frozen before each clip plays? Or do you want to display a color board? Then you got your advanced settings down here. So you can say, hey, I want to delay 3 seconds between each clip starting. Or you can say, I want each clip to start playing after the other one stops. Or you can actually bring it from your MultiCam Designer. You might have noticed in the MultiCam Designer too, there was an option to send it to the Video Collage Designer. So you got all of those options as well. So it's a lot of stuff. So like if you can do like a player preview on this. And it kind of gives you a view of what it will do, the animation, and then the playback settings that I picked on there that, you know, with delayed 3 seconds or whatever. So you got all of that graviness on there. So MultiCam Designer, great tool for you to be able to use. I freaking love it, man. I freaking love it. Now, also, um, it's a perfect tool like for showcasing any type of clips that you have. If you got multiple clips of something, or I think that people love to use this like for the choir type thing. Like they'll create a choir video, or where there's people singing and jumping in at different times. You can use it for that. It's a lot of great options that you can do for that video. So once again, if you use the video collage designer, go ahead and leave me some comments and I'll jump in on those real quick. So Odette Shironi says, I'm using multiple cameras and always sync with sound. Never use multicam. Now, you can definitely do it that way, Shironi Productions. If you want to, you can. If you're using multiple cameras, you sync with sound, and basically understanding what you're doing with that, you could bring everything into the timeline. You can sync them all up by audio, and then you can do all your splits and your trimming and your cuts and whatever you want to do to edit the video. You can do it all manually. It's up to you. But you can also use the MultiCam Designer to easily switch between those different clips, which one you want to show. And all you really got to do is like click and click. And then when you're done, PowerDirector does all the splitting for you. So you don't have to do all of that stuff manually. And it puts all the clips in the sequence that you want them in. So I recommend trying it out, seeing how it works, and letting us know. Peter says, I often shoot motor racing events for whole days with 4 cameras. I've always manually picked the shots and matched the audio to them. The benefit is capturing ambient audio like commentators. Yeah, I would definitely say that there is a benefit of capturing the ambient audio, additional audio like that. But if you want to, you could still use the MultiCam Designer and bring that additional audio in later and sync that up by itself after you use the MultiCam Designer. But once again, like Peter, it's up to you. Like we all have different preferences. And am I saying you got to use the MultiCam Designer? Heck no. I'm saying do what you want to do. But for those people who haven't used it, who don't know about it, they might find it useful and they might find that it fits their editing workflow and it helps them speed things up. Whereas for someone like yourself, you might not want to use it because you have your own preferences and you feel like you want to have that additional level of control over the editing workflow. So I definitely understand it. To each his own. Odette Shironi says, I'm going to start using it. Well, try it out, right? You can only try it out, see how you like it. I do have a tutorial on the MultiCam Designer out there. So if you're interested in learning more about the MultiCam Designer and you're interested in learning more about the Video Collage Designer, I got tutorials out there for both of those tools. They're for the older versions, but most of the tools and the steps are the same once you get into the tool. So you may have to access the tool differently, but all the steps are usually the same. So hope you find that stuff useful, man. I mean, I think both of these options, both of these tools are something that is really going to come in handy for you if you decide to try it out and use it and see what you're feeling, what you're liking. Speaking of liking, if you're enjoying this conversation, you like live streams like I like live streams, please like this video. Hit the thumbs up, man. It's free. It's free to click on the thumb. It don't cost you a red penny. So if you have the capability to do so, it would be great if you could hit me up with a super chat or a super sticker to show your appreciation. I definitely would appreciate that. But if you can't, it's all good. Subscribe to PowerDirector University. Also, follow me on your preferred social media platform. Like I said, we got a great Facebook page. We got a Facebook users group. We got YouTube. We got TikTok. We all over the damn social media networks, okay? Hit us up. Show us some love. All right. So we got Kuba Witkowski. He says, hi, I'm a loyal fan of your YouTube tutorials on the PowerDirector app. Can we hope for your return to making tutorials? Please do it for the fans. Kuba Witkowski. I don't know. I can't make any type of declarations at this point of whether or not I'm going to do that. Part of the whole thing with YouTube for me, like I made a video about like why I did what I did, why I stepped away, why I came back, all of that. I definitely enjoyed doing the app tutorials, and I definitely enjoyed interacting with the individuals that are using the app. At the same time, I really have to weigh the pros and cons as far as, like, how much time can I dedicate to it. Um, what's the return on the investment, the amount of time that I have to put into it as well, if I do have the time, things like that. So I definitely hear you. The app is cool, but these videos are a lot of work. If you think about it, I make a live stream, so I just don't jump into these live streams and just start talking. I prepare. I do a lot of things to get ready to have these live stream conversations with you guys every week. I also do a lot of preparing for, like, creating my tutorials, um, and setting up those tutorials and thinking through how to do things. And especially if I'm doing an effect, it takes a lot longer than if I'm just doing a tutorial on how to use a tool, right? So there's a lot of planning that goes into it. It's not just stepping up, making a video, and walking away. There's a lot of planning on creating thumbnails, on creating titles. Like, all of these things take time. So adding another YouTube channel for mobile would, like, at least double the capacity, or the not the capacity, but double the time that I'm spending on it, right? So it would cut my capacity in half for other things that I want to do in my life. So I have to weigh the pros and the cons, man. So I can't really say right now. Dave Sharoni said, I will always be thankful for your videos. Even after all those years, I'm still learning and always going back to your old videos. Hey, man, I appreciate that. I mean, a lot of people ask about, hey, can you update this on a new version and things like that? And I definitely am going to be doing that. But at the same time, most of the old videos can still be used for most of the things that you do. So it's good to know that you're out there looking at those old videos too, and still leveraging them to do the things that you want to do in the current version of PowerDirector, because they're still relevant, right? So appreciate you for that, man. All right. Togo22 says, hello, I'm here. What's good with you? Thank you for coming. Appreciate the love. All right. So let's talk about the third tool that I feel really helps with your efficiency. And that tool is one that is near and dear to my heart, and might be near and dear to yours as well. But we'll see in a few seconds when I talk about it. The motion tracker. So the motion tracker is a awesome freaking tool. Anytime that you want to follow someone on the screen, you don't have to add keyframes and go through this tedious rigmarole to get things to be followed. You can make it happen using a motion tracker. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I think y'all remember that. I think y'all got a little throwback there, a little throwback. Okay, so let's talk about that tool, right? Let's see here. Let me bring it up on the screen for you to share my steps here. All right, so for the motion tracker, if you want to use this tool, you want to left click on a clip that you have in the timeline, and you can click on edit. And in here, you can go to motion tracker. So the motion tracker is easy to use, man. It's got step-by-step instructions, step 1, step 2, step 3. It couldn't be easier than this. You know what I mean? Now you can tweak things, change things up. So those are things you need to remember. If you haven't seen my motion tracker tutorial, check that out. It will walk you through these steps and give you some other options on how to make things beautified. But the thing is, you can add text. So if you choose text, you can go in here and pick what text you want to put. You can pick your font. There's some different options for your text that you could put. So if you wanted, like, text to follow this young man as he's riding his bike, and maybe put his name, Billy, or whatever you want, then you can have the text follow him wherever he goes. You also have the option to have an object or an image follow the subject. So you can choose that option here. And then if you want to blur out something, or you want to spotlight something, so you want to spotlight somebody who's playing football or a player on the screen, you can use this option. You can drop down. You got spotlight that you can use to spotlight something. You can blur out things. So you could use a regular blur or a Gaussian blur to blur things out, or even a mosaic if you want. So if you want to blur things out, you can use this effect option, and it's easy to do. So if you ever wanted to make a video where you don't want people to be seen or a person on the video, you can blur them out, blur out a face, you can blur out a license plate. You can blur out other information. If you're making a I don't know, a product video and it shows your serial number or QR code or something you don't want people to use, you can blur those things out. There's all type of uses for this tool, man, and is it's very useful, very efficient. Once again, you don't got to keyframe and follow things around on the screen or bring up a blur, because there's other ways to do things too. But this tool is a very useful tool, man. Easy to use. So Peter says, I use the motion tracker a lot. And I bet you do. Like you said, if you're making videos, Peter, like at a track, a racing events like that, you're probably using the tool like more than most people do, because you want to show something like maybe you're probably using it for titles, or you might even be using it to blur stuff out, you know? So I can definitely see you using this tool a lot in your day-to-day editing for your events that you do. So let's see. I'll close that out. All right. So once again, motion tracker, dope, feeling it. Now, let me see where we at with these comments real quick. See what we got going on real quick. We got perfected chaos. He says, your channel is my go-to for PowerDirector information and learning. Your clear and calm style is perfect for how I like to learn. Can't thank you enough for your guides. Thank you, perfected chaos. I appreciate that, man. You know, anytime that the community reaches back out to me and gives me kudos for the things that I do, I'm very much appreciative of that. There's a lot of as you guys know, there's a lot of let's just say dissatisfied people on everything. People get dissatisfied about all type of things, whether it's the tutorial or whether it's the software itself or whatever the case may be. I do hear a lot of negativity about things, a lot of things I can't control. But at the same time, I do hear a lot of positivity too, and I appreciate it anytime you guys hit me up with a positive comment in the YouTube comments or here in the live streams, whatever the case may be. It's all gravy. All right, so we're going back to Brian Royston. Your question is now going to be answered, sir. Thank you, Walanda. All right, so question: have you had any problems with the exporting slower than what it used to be in like 3 versions back? Well, I would say I have not. As a matter of fact, I think that my experience has been that the exporting or producing, whatever terminology you want to use now, I think they call it export now, has been probably on par with the previous versions. I don't think it's been any faster, but I definitely don't think it's been any slower. So when I'm creating content, I try to make sure that I use all of the capabilities of the GPU and PowerDirector as well, to make sure that I have a streamlined editing process and exporting process. So if you haven't looked at the videos that I created on how to export faster, check those out. Maybe there's some settings that you can update. If you've already updated all those settings and you feel like everything is still slower, then you might want to go to the PowerDirector users group and start a thread to have a conversation about it, because you might need to give more information than just, hey, have you seen things slower, right? We need to know more about like your system, your settings, things like that, to kind of help walk you through the process. So head on over to PowerDirector users on Facebook and ask about it there, and then we can go ahead and try to help you out. Game Life 44 said, there are literally 0 videos on YouTube about color grading and enhancing gaming videos. I recently purchased PowerDirector. Yeah, I would say that I have a few videos about color grading using PowerDirector. Now, are they about gaming videos? No. So you're correct. There's none that have to do with color grading, enhancing gaming videos, but there are videos for color grading on there. I would say that color grading in itself is a pure I would say it's really subjective is the word I'm looking for. Like color grading to me is up to you and what you want it to be. I don't think there's a specific way to do it for like a gaming video versus a drama. It depends on what you're trying to convey in each scene and what you like it to look like for that scene. Like you may want to add like a blue tint to something if it's like a sad scene, or if it's something that you want to convey that it's bad, or a red thing tint or grade on it if you want to convey anger in a scene or something like that. Like color grading is a whole like subjective thing to what type of mood you're trying to convey and how you're trying to convey like to the audience what's happening in the scene. So I don't really think there should be one just for just gaming videos, because it's going to depend on what's happening in the game. um Jerry Williams says, I have the attention span of a kitten, so I have to refer to this channel very often. Love it. Hey, just throw a light in front of a kitten, he off racing, off a little ball of yarn, whatever. So I agree. Hey, I appreciate that you come back to the channel and look for stuff, man. Ode Sharoni says, the question, I'm using multiple monitors and undock the windows in the PD software, but when I'm, I guess, lowering one window, I can't find it. So I've heard of that before. So I can't remember off the top of my head what the solution was for that. I don't really know if there's like a good solution for it, to be truthful with you. The only option that I would think of is in Windows to like, go down to your tray at the bottom and see if there's multiple windows, and you'd have to select the one to kind of bring it back to the front. They have another window down there for the other preview window that you opened up. That would be the only option that I could think of off the top of my head. I do remember that I think it was in the PowerDirector forum, there was some complaints about undocking your preview window and not being able to find it. But I can't remember what the solution was. So I would say one or two things. Check it out on the PowerDirector forum if you haven't looked there. And then the other thing is, if you don't want to look it up there and you want us to kind of find it for you, you can go to the PowerDirector users group on Facebook and just start a thread there asking about it. And I'm pretty sure that one of us will be able to pull up the old information about undocking the preview window and it like being hard to find. Because I have seen that before. I just don't remember what the solution was. So this is, of course, Peter J. Milner with the crazy monitor game going on. He's got everything going on 8 screens. Just he got us all beat. Let's see here. Yeah, Odesh Ronnie said you need to dock them together again. So yeah, like I said, get out there on Facebook, man. Put something in the user group and see if we can find it for you. I would try to look it up right now, but it might take a minute. So I don't want to take up all the time with that. All right, let's see what we got here. I did want to touch on a few quick things, if y'all don't mind me doing so. I want to talk about some of the new features that came out with the latest version of PowerDirector. Yes, I'm going to give you a little bit of extra new feature love today because we seem to have some time on our hands. So why not go into it all? Now, some of these things came out a few weeks ago. Some of them just came out. So bear with me, my friends. Bear with me. All right. So the first thing I wanted to talk about real quick, and then we'll get back to the comments, is the customized toolbar. So we got an option now to customize your toolbar. So your toolbar is this section right here above the timeline. So if you want to, you can change it up, and it changes up based on what clips you select. Then the toolbar will look different based on that. But if you come all the way over here to the right and you click on customize toolbar, it'll open up another window. And now you get to pick what does appear and what doesn't appear in that toolbar. Now, you see that some of these are grayed out. Those options cannot be unchecked. They're default and they will never be able to be unchecked. Once again, some of these options, even though you could have like 15 of them checked, as you can see, only some of them will show up on your timeline based on what type of clip you have. So if I added like background remover and I clicked on apply, then you see it added the background removal here. So if you use the background removal tool a lot, instead of clicking on your clip, going to edit, or not even going to edit, instead of going up here and clicking on the edit and the background remover and check in the box, you don't have to do all of that. If you add it to your toolbar, you can just click on the clip and click on background remover, and it takes you right here and it checks the box for you, and then you get to do everything you need to do. So pretty cool that you could do that. Click on this and I'm going to reset it back to the default and click on apply. Now, I do have a tutorial that's coming out on the customized toolbar. It goes more in depth on a lot of things about it. So if you want to check that out, look it up. It's coming out on Tuesday. So you can check that out Tuesday and give me some feedback. Leave some comments. Tell me how you liked it. Tell me what you wanted to see. Tell me about more. Tell me more. Okay. Hit me up with all those comments. All right. So then another new tool that they dropped was my AI Gen. So basically, what did you generate with your AI tools? It will save them to a location and you can go back and use them again. So if you go up here to your profile and you left click on your profile, you'll see my Gen AI creations. That's what it's called. I said my AI Gen, my Gen AI. Okay. My Gen AI creations. If you click on that, it'll say, hey, if you created anything, it'll show you, hey, you got 4 files that you created with the talking avatar, or you got whatever file that you created with the AI anime video or image generator or whatever. So basically, if you created something with AI, you can click on it and then you have the option to view it. You have the option to select it and download it or delete it. So a lot of different options here. So you can go back to your old things that you created. You don't have to create them over again. So that's cool. Don't got to use my understanding, you don't got to use any of your credits for this. So if I were to say, let me check this one and download it, it just picks the location to download it to. I can select that folder and it'll download it. And I don't have to use any credits because I already made it. It added it to my media library. Click on OK. I'm good to go. So my Gen AI creation is another great tool that was created here. Let's see here real quick. Wanted to see what I wanted to talk about next. So I want to talk about the preferences menu because they went ahead and changed that up on a brother. Like, this is a crazy thing. Like, they changed it up on a brother right when a brother had created something that used the preferences. So I just had created a video about exporting and your export setting to do it faster. And then like a few days later, they changed the preferences menu, which jacked up my whole tutorial, but it's all good. It's all, I can't do nothing about that. But the preferences menu has changed. If you haven't gone there, you might have noticed that it's different. So if you click on this set user preferences button, you look here and you'll see that there are a lot less options here than there used to be for the preferences. So this is a big change for some people. If you go here and look for certain things, some of the things that were in here before aren't in here anymore. So you don't even have options to change those things anymore. So we'll see how it goes with this new user preferences menu. Hit cancel on that. And now the next thing I wanted to talk about real quick was we got some new transitions and we got some new titles. So we got some new title animations, all kind of stuff, man. So just to jump into a few of those things real quick. Sorry, gotta pull this information up. So give me a few seconds here. All right. All right. So transitions. So if you go to transitions and you go to what's new, you'll see there's a bunch of retro effects on here that you can do. So if you left click on them, it just gives you a preview of what type of thing it looks like. If you want to find these, because after a amount of time, it's not going to be in the what's new section anymore, right? If you want to be able to find them, you can search retro right here and they'll come up. Or you can go to effect. And after you download them, you got to download them first. They'll show up under the effect option here. So that's got some new transitions. We always get new transitions. To me, don't test me. I use regular transitions, like just regular fades and cross fades all the time. Sometimes these come in handy. If it depends on what you're trying to make and if it's going to be useful or not. Another thing that's new, we got some new titles out there. So if you go to what's new, once again, you'll see that they got these new gold titles in here. So if you click on one, you get a preview of what it looks like and how the title's treating you. But once again, they're not going to be here for long. So if you remember, you can search gold and they'll come up in here. Or if you go to stylize, after you download the titles, they'll be here under the stylized section. Okay, so just know that you still got options. You got options. And one other thing too, I haven't looked at what they are, but there are some new title animations. So I don't know which ones are new yet, but if you go to animation, you should have some new. I think there's 4 new animations that you can add. Oh, here we go. So we've got some new animations on here. Some I haven't even looked at or used. So you can tell here that anything that says new, if you come in here and it says new, there's going to be at least 4 new title animations. If you haven't clicked on them before, you'll see that you've got some new animations like blur wipe, burn. You got glow clamp. So all types of new things in here. Like you can go in here and play with them and see what these new animations look like. Ooh, sparkle light. Ooh, you sparkly. Okay. So you definitely got all of that you can work with too. So a lot of new things that came out in the last version. I think those are all the new things I wanted to talk about. I don't think there's anything else on my radar. So now we could jump into some additional Q&A. So if there's any other questions out there that you guys have for a brother, feel free to hit me up. Let's see here. So Perfected Chaos says the tools available to edit are truly mind-blowing with PD. The limit isn't the tools, it's my creativity. Yeah, you know what? This is true. You bring up a great point. Like the tools are out there. And I've heard a lot of complaints from a lot of people about like, hey, these are cheesy tools for this and for that. The tools are what you make them, right? They're there for you to access and utilize. But once again, to your point, you have to be able to think of how can this tool create value added user engagement or viewer engagement for them, right? Because you don't want to just throw tools out there and effects and stuff like that just to be throwing them onto your videos. You have to use them in a smart way. You have to think through how you're going to use them and what scenarios you want to use them in, and make sure that it's palatable to your viewer to a point where not only palatable, it's creating value. Like using this tracker this motion tracker on this created value for my users because they're able to see which one of these cars is the one going around the track that's in the lead, or I created value by utilizing multiple angles in this video because I didn't want to just have the same angle the whole video because that gets boring, right? Nobody wants to watch, like, hey, even in a live stream like this, I'm jumping back and forth between screens. It's just not me on the screen the whole time. I'm shifting back and forth between, like, sharing the screen and me going to a smaller window, a bigger window, bringing other things on screen, creating like a dynamic viewer experience where there's more things going on. And multi-cam can do that. Same thing with the collage. Like, how are you creating user value in your video and creating high quality content that people want to come back and see? So yes, your creativity is what's going to drive the tool usage, thinking through how you can leverage the tools. But the problem is sometimes too, people don't know what tools they have and how they can use them, which is why there's people out there like me. So I can bring to you and show you, hey, here's a tool, here's how to use it. A lot of the times with the videos that I do, most of them are search generated. So people are searching for something. How do I zoom in? How do I do this? How do I do that? Right? They're searching for a particular thing, which is cool. I get a lot of views from that. A lot of people find my channel from that. But what a lot of people don't do is, hey, when I send out a video every week or I do a live stream every week, they don't watch because they're not really looking for a particular thing in that video. But what that does is it takes away their ability to learn about new tools that they're not using, new things that they've never seen before, how they can use a new tool. Sometimes that is what spurs or the creativity in you to be able to say, hey, I could use that in this video to do A, B, or C. So when I create tutorials on tools that you might not use, sometimes people, I don't need to know about that. Maybe you do. Maybe you do need to know about that because there's something in it that is going to spark your creativity and get you thinking about how to use the tool in a unique way that will help to create great content for you and your viewers. Steve Williams says, too many different effects and fonts are too distracting for viewers. Yes, you never want to go and use a bunch of effects, a bunch of titles, stuff like that in the same video. That's just overkill, just ridiculous. Too many effects, things like that. That's just overkill. Nobody likes it. Is freaking ugly. But sometimes, especially when people first get into video editing, they want to try out all the different titles and fonts and tools and stuff like that. Okay, whatever. You want to try them out? Fine. Don't try them out on the video that you're putting on YouTube, right? If there's no need to do an effect for your transition, don't do one. Like, just fade. But if you're doing like a video about the circus and you have a transition that kind of matches that, you might want to use it. But to Steve's point, you might want to use that same transition throughout your video. Like, you don't want to, or a transition that fits in that theme throughout your video, right? Like maybe you use just the retro transition for your whole video because you're doing a video about the 60s or something, right? So you want to do that. Or maybe use the same retro transition throughout the whole video. Like, you have to think through, how is my user going to be engaged, and are they going to see value in this, or am I going to cause like viewer fatigue because I got all these effects and all this crazy stuff going on at the same time? Perfected Chaos says, it is okay to make content that doesn't hit right. Just make sure to learn from it. I don't fear making a mistake when creating something. I fear not learning from it when the feedback rocks in. Of course not. You talking to the number one mistake maker in the world right here. When I started making videos on YouTube, I made all kinds of mistakes. If you go back and look at my first video, it's a wreck. Okay, it's a freaking train wreck that I learned from. Like, I'm still learning today. All right. Every video that you make is an opportunity for you to learn from it. Whether you're making videos for YouTube, making a video for a client, you have an opportunity to learn from every video that you make, and you will if you pay attention and you learn from those things. So don't be afraid to make a video. Of course, you got to get out there and start. You got to try. But if you have someone like Peter or Steve or myself or Chris that's giving you feedback on things to improve, take those things with a grain of salt. If you want to inject those that feedback into your videos, then do it. What I'm saying is not to not make videos, but if you got insight into how to make them better, use it. But you always want to get out there and learn from your videos. Oded Sharoni says less is more. Yeah, I mean, I think less is always going to be more, depending on the scenario, right? If there are always going to be circumstances where, like, if you're making a crazy meme video about like stupid effects, then yeah, you're going to have a bunch of stupid effects in there that you're adding, and it's going to make sense because that's what the video is about. If you're making a video about baking a cake, it's probably not going to be conducive to your viewer for you to put all kind of effects and stuff on the cake or on your video when you're trying to show things. You probably just want to convey, here are the steps to make this cake, and here are the ways, the things that you should do. And maybe you don't have any effects on it at all. Maybe you just use jump cuts and you don't use transitions when you go from scene to scene. Depends on what you're doing and what message or what type of content you want to create or what message you're conveying to your viewer. So definitely agree with you. Less is more unless more is needed. So it depends on what you're doing. All right. Let's see here. All right, Steve Williams says free AI credits for 365 users. Remember to always claim your free daily allocation of 3 AI credits per day. So that's pretty important. If you use AI tools a lot, then you want to go into the AI tools to claim your free AI credits if you're a 365 user, right? So you get free credits every day. You get free credits every month for being a 365 subscriber. So remember, don't miss out on freebies. Freebies are good. When people are talking about, hey, why does it cost credits and this, that, and the other? We kind of talked about that in previous videos and things like that. There's a reason why there's a cost aligned with us or assigned with those credits, but they still give you some for free too. They may be smaller amounts, but you still get them and you can use them, and that's good. Hair Batista or Jair Baptista is, I think, how you say it. Jair Baptista is saying, I'm having problems with PowerDirector 365 and the tracks don't have any sound. Can you help? So there's multiple ways to figure that out. I have a tutorial that's called No Audio. I think it's called No Audio for PowerDirector that kind of walks you through the whole rigmarole. And there's multiple options on why you might not have audio. So that's why this video is important. I'm going to share my screen so you know what video to watch. Let's see. So this is the video right here. It's called No Audio Sound in PowerDirector, Fix Muted Audio. So it's a 6-year-old video, but it probably still stands up to any issues that you're having right now. Try that first, watch that video. And then if it don't work, then, we'll have to go from there. If it doesn't work, then come back. Like I said, PowerDirector forum, PowerDirector users on Facebook, you can go on there and ask about it. One of the things that I know happens a lot to a lot of people. Let me see if I can get this to show up on here, because this is one of the options. Don't want that. Yeah. So one of the things that it might be is in PowerDirector. If you go under your preview window, there's an option for preview quality. And one of the things that I find happens to a lot of people is, for some reason, they have it set to non-real-time preview instead of real-time preview. So that might be one of the things that you might want to check first, but there are other options too. So make sure you watch the video. I'll share my screen real quick just to show you what I'm talking about. So under the preview window, you see this option here for set preview quality. Click on that, and then make sure that it's set to real-time preview and it is not set to non-real-time preview. When you set it to non-real-time preview, it mutes your audio. So that might be happening. If it's not, watch the rest of the video. There's other options on there, a bunch of other stuff for you to learn from. All right, let's see here. Seeing if we got any more things on here. So Perfected Chaos says, I wasn't aware of that as a 365 user. Awesome info. You will most definitely pay more attention to this freebie. And then Steve went ahead and shared, go into my profile, main PD page, and you'll see the option there. So it's a beautiful thing to go get those freebies. So you go to profile here. You got my earn free credits right here. You have earned today's free credits. Click on OK. I'm good to go. Get your freebies. Get your freebies. All right. Let's see what else we got. Peter says the first thing to do is play the clip in the video player outside of PD to see if the file has any audio in the first place. You could be chasing your tail. That is a good option. Great point, Peter. Check it out first. You ain't got no audio. That would be awesome. So hopefully he's already done that before he went in and put it in the PowerDirector. But you're right. He could be chasing his tail if we never even looked at it to see if he had audio or not. All right, people. We have hit my time for the day. You know what I got to do? I got to get out of here. I got to do some things with the wife cakes. You know, me and the wife cakes got things to do today. But before I get out of here, we are going to be on a cruise ship. So next week, no live stream. The week after that, no live stream either, because we'll be coming back and I'm just going to be chilling that weekend. You know what I'm saying? So no live stream for 2 weeks, but I will be coming back stronger than ever in 2 weeks. But hey, let us have some fun on a cruise ship, do our thing, get our little mojitos, some kind of drink house, whatever we're going to do. We're going to do it big. We're going to have a good time. So you will not see me next weekend, but my wife will. I'll be hanging out with her, of course, like I always do. But I want to thank everybody for joining us on our live streams. It's a beautiful thing seeing the community come together, helping each other out, you know, coming on here, having a conversation and chilling with our friends, you know, as we get through and navigate this PowerDirector program and learn how to make content together on YouTube. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I will see you again in 2 weeks.